welcome to another episode of Comics Review. I'm your host, Kevin Starkey. The first comic I want to talk about today is RPM number 1. This is by 12 Gauge Comics. And the author of this is Mick Foley. I guess he's a wrestler, I think. And Shane Riches. And the art is by Jose Holder. And I've read some other stuff from 12 Gauge, and they have some really cool comics. This one is about a guy, he's related to Paul Revere. It takes place in modern times. And he's sort of like the transporter, if you've ever seen those movies. People pay him money to transport objects for them, and he gets shot at, and people are chasing him, trying to get what he's delivering and stuff like that. And it's written really good. The story's pretty good. The artwork is really bright colors. It's kind of a stylistic style. I don't love it, but it's kind of cool. It's a fun read. I think it's going to be a good comic, actually. It might get boring after a while, you know. It's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. Him delivering some package and getting into trouble and getting out of the trouble and, you know, successfully delivering the package. But it might be cool for a short run. I'll stick with it for a little bit and see how it goes. The next comic I want to talk about today is Phoenix Without Ashes. This is number 4 of 4, actually, and Harlan Ellison is the writer on this. And I think I've reviewed this before. The art is by Alan Robinson. The characters in here look a lot like Amish people, and what you find out is that they live in this world. It's in the future, but the world is really, for them, it's really small. And really what it is it's a big floating space station, and they are in one of these little pods. And the elders of this group, they tell the people that, you know, that's blasphemy, that's not true. This one guy figures it out and finds a portal, and he can get out of their world into the rest of the ship. And he comes back and tries to convince his people, and they just want to stone him, put him to death. And he's got a girl, you know, that he's interested in, but they do these arranged marriages, and it's been such a fun read. I really like this one. The artwork's cool. The story is just, I love it. And this is the last issue, and it just sort of ends and leaves you hanging. So I'm hoping that they come back and do some more on this series, on this storyline, because I hate to see it end there. It's like there's so much that they don't tell you. The next comic I want to talk about is another final issue. This is issue number 5 of 5 of Ghost Projekt. This is from Oni Press. Joe Harris and Steve Rolston and Dean Trippy are the guys on this. Written by Joe Harris, illustrated by Steve Rolston, and Dean Trippy is the colorist. This has really cool art. The writing is okay. A lot of neat coloring. A lot of Russian accents that you have to sort of read, which gets a little bit annoying. I thought this was going to be a good story, and it just wasn't. At least for me, it wasn't. Someone else might like it. It's sort of a revenge. A ghost is taking revenge on people, and I don't know. It just ends, and it felt really weak in the end for me. And you know, I was hoping it would. I kept hoping it would get better. It was never great. It was okay. The artwork's really cool. I don't know. I have to say thumbs down on that one. And then the final one I want to talk about is also another final issue. This is, I want to talk about Okko, the Cycle of Air. This is issue 4 of 4. Actually, I was covering up the name there. Let me do it again. Okko. I've reviewed this one before. I ended up buying, the first Okko that I bought was issue number 1 of 4 of this cycle of air, and I hadn't, at the time, I didn't know that there were other books or volumes, I guess you would call them, that preceded this. The cycle of water and the cycle of earth came before this, the cycle of air. And so I bought those, read them, and then I reread this, the first one, and now it's up to the 4th one here, and this is the final one. There'll be another volume after this. This will come out in a trade paperback soon, I'm pretty sure. The next one is the cycle of fire, and then there's a 5th one after that, which I don't know what that one's going to be called yet. But the art style in here is just, I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's very manga-esque looking. It's it basically, these guys are there's this band of a Ronin who is like a swordsman. He's got a couple of companions. A masked man. He wears a red mask. His name is Noburo, something like that. Nashin is the monk that travels with him. He drinks sake a lot. And then there's a younger boy who's Tikyu. He joined the group in the first volume of this series. He's being trained by the monk, so he's learning a lot of the what the monks in this story do is they can control nature and stuff like that, wind and water and stuff. And it takes place in a place similar to Japan. It's called Pajan, same letters as Japan. And this one is all about air, obviously, and it's a great story. At first I thought it was going to be a really slow story, but basically what you have to do is when you get number 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, read them all at one sitting. Don't read them over months like I did. When I finally read this, I had really forgotten a lot of the other stuff, so I sat down and reread them all again. And it only takes place over a couple of days, so it's really not as slow as it feels. But basically, it's almost like a video game. There's this big boss that they have to defeat in this, and basically all of the people of their group play an important role in defeating this boss. I don't want to give all the specifics, but you know, they all are sort of doing their own part, thinking that the rest of the people are not there helping, and that one of them is even dead. And in the end, they defeat him, of course, because there's going to be more. So it's a great story. I'm really enjoying this. I can't say enough about this. Definitely pick that one up. It's a lot of fun. And that is it for this week. Please leave a comment here or over on my blog at twodognight.net and let me know what you're reading this week. Have you read any of the stuff that I've reviewed here? And I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.